So, what I'm talking about is how we respond to emergencies. Emergencies could range from small emergencies. By the way, emergency is emergency, anyways, but I know what I mean. To emergencies that will involve a whole lot of lives. Yeah. Sometime last year, I talked about the fire that happened at Onitsha, Anambra State. I was moved to talk about it then because I saw something on Facebook about this woman with her child that lost their lives in the fire there. And I was so moved, and I had to talk about that, like responding to fire and all that, setting up alarm systems in the markets to show that, like when you have a fire in the market, there's alarm system to notify everyone that, look, there is smoke from somewhere, like having smoke detectors, having fire hydrants in the markets, especially overpopulated markets like that one. I think that one is called Ochanja or something. Not only that, we have the main market there, we have the area, we have a whole lot of big markets that millions and millions of people troop to every day for business purposes. So I was suggesting then that if the government could look into that and try to uh, put in facilities in the market, like install smoke devices, smoke detectors, and sprinklers and hydrants and fire hose rails, and put in the emergency exit sign so that once the alarm goes off in the market to indicate that there is smoke, that there will be designated safety area, like the assembly area where people could run off to. Even if there is not, now I'm thinking about how the whole thing will play out, like not having enough space for assembly areas. At least people could leave the market following the emergency exit signs, put up the signs to show them, like, when you hear this kind of alarm or when you hear the evacuation messages, this is what it sounds like, like sensitize the people and teach them and train them. This is what evacuation message sounds like, this is what the alarm sounds like, this is the difference between the alarm and the evacuation message, and this and that, so that people will know that when they hear this is what we should do. When this one happens, this is what we should. And then you have trained personnel in place who will be able to direct the people. Look, everyone out of the market, there is smoke, and this, to explain. And people will not panic, knowing that there is an established system on ground. So when something is going on, there is instructions to follow. People already know what to do. They know where to run to. They know how to run out. You will even need to teach the people that once there is evacuation, nobody needs to go back into the shop to pick up money or pick up their items or anything. They just have to run out of the location for their dear life, Okay, that's about the market fire. Um, Having said that, I still remember those who lost their lives in that market. It's not something to, it's not something very nice to remember, anyways. But that is that. And I'm wondering, since after that fire, if anything has been done about that to try to do the things we are supposed to do. Okay, now another thing is the explosion that happened in Lagos a few days ago. Now, it is the same kind of thing. There should be inspectors. There should be safety, security, and loss prevention inspectors in the government. There should be people who will move around, whose job is to check out for the safety and security of the people. There should be people who will move around to say, who put this here? This shouldn't be here. Who is here? This shouldn't be here. Who is doing this? You shouldn't do this, There should be a whole lot of safety procedures put in place as preventive measures. It is very good to be proactive. I always say this. think things ahead and try to set up procedures, safety procedures to save the people. We shouldn't always be waiting for big things to happen to us and then we start running around, or we make a lot of videos and post online. This is what is happening now. Please, somebody come and help. It's laughable, really. So what if someone said, this gas tank is not supposed to be here, or this needs servicing? Who is supposed to service it? Can you do that? Like, prevent these things from happening, you know? I remember the cantonment things so many years back when people died in the canal. I remember that. Why? I'm thinking that if we check out for things before they happen, we can be able to save lives. We cannot know how many lives we can save when we are proactive and try to do the things we are supposed to do, because we will not even let the things happen, because we save ourselves from those calamities, you know. But it is better we don't know how many people would have died because they didn't die, than for us to keep counting our losses every time because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Can someone set up procedures, set up personnel to take care of the things that they're supposed to take care of? Can the government, some people in leadership look outside the box and see what is happening in other places, and see how people in government set up structures to save the people, to prevent heavy losses, to help build up good security network. It doesn't cost so much. It is a lot, way cheaper than trying to solve the problem when it has happened, you know. What about these corona things? Why do we always have to wait for things to get out of hand? You know, I don't know. Because I just look at what's going on in other nations of the world, and I try to compare with my own things, because we cannot run away from it. It's ours. So I try to compare, and I don't know what to say. How about shutting down the schools before the mix-up gets out of hand? And we don't know who to hold. Were you here at this time? Did you talk to this person? How about teaching people about social spacing? Even sensitizing on the normal hand washing, even the use of the mask, how to use the mask, when to use the mask, who should use the mask and who should not use the mask. And I'm hearing jokes about using alcohol, drinking a whole lot of... Now people are talking about the Clorox and the jigs. It's funny. So why don't we bring out, okay, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to shut down the borders. It is not yet time to close down the airports. It is not necessary to warn people not to come to Nigeria. It is not necessary to talk about how to quarantine people and isolate people you suspect that they came in contact with other people showing symptoms. Okay, good. So how about sensitizing the people, teaching them? This is what COVID-19 is all about. This is what the virus is about. This is how it started. This is how it spreads. This is how someone can contact it. These are the symptoms. These are related symptoms. These symptoms are different from these symptoms. If you see this, it doesn't mean this. And this is the mortality rate. This number of people can die. This number of people can... Teach the people. My goodness. Why can't we teach? Does it cost so much to teach the people? How can we say, if you know you came in the aircraft that came in on the 13th of March, please can you quarantine yourself where you are? Or can you please isolate yourself from your family after you have stayed 4 days or 5 days with them? What about the people who received these people at the airport, who checked them in, who collected their passports, handled the same items for checking and everything, and received them into the country? It's the same contact. I clean my nose, I put it on my passport. It's the same thing. On the money I am using to pay for this, pay for taxi, buy an orange, buy this, buy that, buy that. It's the same fluid. So how do you curtail that? I'm talking to someone. It's the same hello, hi, how are you? Face to face. No mask, no gloves. So we cannot make announcements. We cannot have speeches like other countries they are doing. Leaders are talking. Here where I am, almost every 2 hours, there is an announcement on safety. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So we should learn to be proactive. We should learn to be proactive. We should start to be proactive. We shouldn't do things last when it's become old news. We should do things that are preventive in nature. Take actions that are preventive. Be safety conscious. We should be safety conscious. We should learn how to be in the know. We should always have information about what is going on around the world and not be the last people always, even in our personal lives, not only as leaders, not only as citizens. We should be in the know. Thank you so much for listening.